There comes a moment when a fandom stops simply supporting an artist and starts fighting for history. And for SB19 and A'TIN, that moment may be here again. After already proving themselves on the Billboard Fan Army battlefield, A'TIN now have another huge mission ahead of them, helping SB19 chase what could become their fourth Billboard Fan Army victory. But this time, the competition is not going to be easy. The question is no longer whether A'TIN can support SB19. They have already answered that question. The real question is, can A'TIN come together one more time and prove that SB19's fandom is still one of the strongest forces in the global music community? Because if this battle begins, every vote matters, every share matters, every reminder matters, and every A'TIN who decides to participate could potentially make a difference. Think about what a fourth victory would actually mean. For SB19, it would be another major recognition of the extraordinary relationship they have built with their fans. But for A'TIN, it would mean something even deeper. It would be another opportunity to show the world that SB19's success isn't happening by accident. Behind every milestone, every chart achievement, every sold-out event, and every international headline, there is a fandom that continues to show up. And that fandom has a name, A'TIN. The interesting thing about Billboard Fan Army competitions is that they aren't simply about the popularity of an artist. They become tests of organization, consistency, and determination. Because having millions of people know your name doesn't automatically mean you will win. A fandom has to mobilize. People have to remember to vote. They have to encourage others. They have to keep the momentum alive even when the excitement starts to disappear. And that is where A'TIN have repeatedly shown their strength. Remember, SB19 aren't competing in a vacuum. There are other massive artists in extremely dedicated fandoms around the world. Many of them have enormous social media communities. Many have fans who have been supporting their artists for years. So when the Billboard Fan Army battle begins, A'TIN cannot afford to assume that previous victories guarantee another one. They don't. Every round starts again, every opponent gets an opportunity, and every vote has to be earned. That is what makes the possibility of a fourth win so exciting. Because imagine the message that would send. SB19, a Filipino group that started from humble beginnings, once again standing at the top of a global fan-voted competition. And behind them, thousands, potentially millions of A'TIN saying, "We're still here." That's the part that makes this story bigger than an award. It's about visibility. For years, Filipino artists have been trying to break through international barriers, and SB19 have become one of the clearest examples of what can happen when talent, persistence, and an incredibly passionate fan base come together. A'TIN aren't just watching the journey, they are participating in it. And that is why this upcoming battle could become one of the most important moments of 2026 for the fandom. But here's the warning. A'TIN cannot depend on past victories. They cannot say, "We've won 3 times, so we'll probably win again." That mentality is exactly what can make a strong fandom vulnerable. The competition will be watching, other fandoms will be organizing, and the difference between victory and defeat could come down to something incredibly simple. Who stayed consistent until the very end? That's why the biggest weapon A'TIN have isn't just numbers, it's unity. One fan reminding another, one account sharing voting instructions, one person encouraging fans who haven't participated before, one community keeping the energy alive. Because individual votes may look small, but when thousands of people do the same thing together, the impact becomes enormous. And this is where SB19 themselves become part of the motivation. For A'TIN, supporting SB19 has never been only about winning trophies. It's about showing appreciation for 5 artists who have continued to represent Filipino talent on increasingly bigger stages. From local performances to international festivals, from Philippine audiences to global listeners, SB19's journey has expanded dramatically, and now A'TIN have another chance to stand beside them. But there is something else that makes this battle interesting. The 4th Billboard Fan Army win wouldn't simply be another number. It could become part of SB19's growing legacy. 1 win can be called a moment. 2 wins can be called a pattern. 3 wins prove consistency. But a 4th? That starts looking like domination. And that's exactly why this battle could become so intense. Other fandoms will want to stop that streak. A'TIN will want to protect it. And suddenly what appears to be another online fan competition becomes a battle for bragging rights, history, and global recognition. So the question for A'TIN is simple. Are you ready? Because if SB19 enters this battlefield, they won't be walking in alone. They will have an army behind them, an army that has already proven what it can accomplish, an army that has turned online support into real-world impact, an army that has repeatedly shown that when A'TIN decide to move together, people notice. But this time, the mission is different. The goal isn't simply to participate. The goal is to fight until the final vote. Because if A'TIN want that fourth Billboard Fan Army crown, there can be no half effort, no assuming someone else will vote, no waiting until the last minute, and no forgetting that every single supporter can contribute to the bigger picture. So if you're an A'TIN watching this right now, remember this. SB19 may be the artist on the stage, but when the Billboard Fan Army battle begins, the fandom becomes part of the performance. Every vote becomes a cheer. Every share becomes a signal. Every supporter becomes another voice saying, SB19 belongs here. And if A'TIN can once again turn that passion into action, something very special could happen. A fourth Billboard Fan Army victory. Another chapter in SB19's history. And another reminder to the global music industry that Filipino artists and their fans are not here simply to participate. They are here to compete. They are here to be seen. And they are here to win. So the battlefield is waiting. The opponents are coming. And A'TIN already know what they have to do. The question is, will they rise one more time? Because if they do, we might be watching the beginning of SB19's next Billboard Fan Army chapter. And trust me, this battle could be one A'TIN won't want to miss.